Muy bien, pues vamos a iniciar por respeto a nuestros asistentes. Muy buenos días, soy su servidor, el ingeniero Luis Daniel Ramírez, de el organismo promotor de inversiones en telecomunicaciones, Promtel, y a nombre del organismo y de la empresa Heights, les damos la más cordial bienvenida a este taller virtual para desarrolladores, ISPs, operadores locales, en donde vamos a platicar de una segunda sesión para ver esta sesión va a ser más de práctica y de presentar físicamente la plataforma de gestión de la experiencia de banda ancha para ISPs. Este es un taller que tuvimos hace algunas semanas y que, bueno, en esta ocasión vamos a tener la parte práctica del taller y de la teoría que vimos en aquel momento. Este taller lo pueden encontrar en el canal de YouTube del organismo, que más adelante les pondré aquí en el chat la liga para que puedan acceder a todos los talleres que el organismo ha, en conjunto con los operadores y con los desarrolladores se han impartido. Quiero dar la más cordial bienvenida a Guillermo Luca, que es el responsable de Heights aquí en México y que es quien nos ha apoyado para la coordinación de este taller. Muchas gracias, Guillermo, por tu aporte, por el apoyo que nos han brindado. Y también agradecerle, y esto lo voy a hacer en inglés, a Arun Bhatt, que es el expositor que nos va a presentar la plataforma. Arun, very welcome to this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us and share your expertise and your knowledge about about this platform. We will start in a few minutes. Thank you very much. Queremos darle también la más cordial bienvenida a todos nuestros asistentes, agradecerles por el tiempo que nos comparten al participar en el evento y solicitarles que nos apoyen manteniendo sus cámaras y sus micrófonos apagados para que podamos tener un ambiente lo más limpio y transparente posible y podamos tener una buena presentación. Recordarles también que en el chat de esta sesión nos pueden compartir sus datos de contacto, su nombre, su correo electrónico, para poderles compartir, si así lo requirieran, la presentación de esta y de la sesión anterior. Y nos pueden compartir también las preguntas, los comentarios, las aportaciones que pudieran tener al tema. Y al final de la exposición tendremos un espacio para preguntas y respuestas con los expositores, aclaraciones de puntos que hayan por ahí quedado pendientes y básicamente es lo que estaríamos viendo en este taller. No tomo más tiempo, quiero agradecer nuevamente y cederle el micrófono a Guillermo Luca. Adelante, Guillermo, que tengan un extraordinario taller. Aquí estamos pendientes. Muchas gracias.
No, gracias a ti, Luis, muchas gracias. Pues buenos días a todos. Y bueno, vamos a retomar nuevamente la parte de la experiencia, cómo mejorar la experiencia de nuestros suscriptores para los Internet Service Providers o Communication Service Providers. Este es un punto muy interesante porque pues en México, Latinoamérica, en todo el mundo realmente, pues pensamos mucho en sobre todo aquí en México, ¿no? Me voy a enfocar en México, pero la realidad es que pensamos nada más en ancho de banda, ¿no? O sea, damos medio mega, 100 megas, 50 megas, o ya hoy hasta hay algunos que están ofreciendo a 1 giga, ¿no? Entonces realmente nos enfocamos mucho en eso, pero no en la experiencia del cliente. O sea, cómo podemos mejorar esa experiencia, sobre todo cuando tiene problemas. Hoy en día muchas veces pues ya quieren cubrir no nada más la sala de la casa, sino quieren cubrir diferentes lugares de la casa, ¿no? Y entonces empieza a haber una solución mesh, empieza a haber problemas de distancia, en fin, o sea, realmente todo esto, esta herramienta de Apple así fue diseñada como tal, ¿no? De hecho, como pueden ver, es una compañía que pues tiene gente muy experta que viene de Qualcomm, Netgear, Cisco, Motorola. Y realmente la visión de la compañía no es el poder pues, monitorear, administrar los ONTs que tenemos en las casas, sino realmente es algo mucho más que eso, ¿no? El poder identificar qué es lo que el cliente hace que pueda estar mucho más satisfecho, qué es lo que hace que realmente tenga, si tiene problemas en forma proactiva lo podamos detectar. Ese es realmente el objetivo de la solución de Apricot, una solución exclusivamente en software que a través de una actualización de un driver en los UNTs podemos tener esa realmente ventaja tecnológica con inteligencia artificial que nos permita en forma proactiva estar viendo cómo se encuentra cada suscriptor del Internet Service Provider, sean 100, 1000, millones. En nuestro caso, hoy en día la compañía tiene más de 6 millones de suscriptores y creciendo, ¿no? Eh, entonces es un aspecto muy importante que es como les digo, es una plataforma de software que realmente la idea es mejorar la experiencia del suscriptor. Y bueno, la solución de Apricot precisamente nace para soluciones corporativas, pequeñas, medianas, donde precisamente lidera ver cómo se puede mejorar esa experiencia de los usuarios, sobre todo de soluciones de tecnología no tan masivas, tan de alta densidad, sino medianas a pequeñas, ¿no? Pero realmente de ahí la compañía se empezó a mover mucho hacia cómo realmente tengo un gestor que en forma proactiva me va a decir cuál es la calidad de experiencia de cada usuario, cada suscriptor. Eso pues, es muy importante. ¿Por qué? Porque finalmente nos va a permitir precisamente resolver los problemas mucho más rápidos, reducir lo que le llamamos el truck rolls, o sea, que ya no tengamos que estarnos desplazando con muchos usuarios porque hay problemas. A lo mejor la idea es que la herramienta te diga qué está pasando, ¿no? Esa es la idea. Entonces, como consecuencia, podemos incrementar el NPS de una manera muy significativa, más de un 60%. Típicamente, muchas veces esta parte de lealtad de los clientes pues estaba en el 20% y con esta herramienta la idea es que el cliente sea leales a ustedes, que es lo importante, ¿no? Porque pues uno va al súper, sale del súper y luego antes de salir, ahí están tres, cuatro marcas, ¿no? De servicio de internet y todas manejando un precio muy competitivo. Entonces, ¿por qué me voy por cualquiera de ellas? ¿Nada más por el ancho de banda o porque realmente sé que voy a tener un servicio plus? ¿Sí? Ya viene obviamente con esta solución integrada, ¿verdad? Entonces, esa es la tendencia, la visión a futuro, que mejoremos la experiencia del suscriptor. Si no, el ancho de banda, pues como sea, cada uno de ustedes lo puede ir incrementando y lo que sea, pero ¿qué pasa cuando hay problemas con el suscriptor? ¿Cómo hacemos que sea en forma proactiva lo detectemos? ¿Cómo hacemos que no tengamos tantos desplazamientos con los clientes, lo cual nos puede tomar un día, 2 días, los costos se aumentan? Ujú. Entonces, toda esta parte de soporte proactivo es fundamental para muchos de nosotros, de nuestros clientes que inclusive a veces hasta uno mismo en la casa dice, no, pues hay un problema, pues se va a resolver. Y realmente no, pues, muchas veces uno ni quiere llamar a la parte de soporte porque anda muy ocupado, lo que sea, ¿no? Aquí es que esta herramienta en forma proactiva nos vaya dando realmente el seguimiento de qué está pasando y de forma anticipada, inclusive podamos hablarle al cliente, decirle, mira, tienes este problema, en fin, ¿no? O en línea, decirle, mira, ok, tienes problemas para llegar a tal lugar. Sí, lo estoy viendo aquí gráficamente, que realmente la distancia es es muy alta la distancia y por lo mismo no hay forma de que puedas tener esa buena cobertura. Entonces requieres ahí a lo mejor seguramente un extensor. Entonces ahí ustedes precisamente hacen un upselling de la solución, ¿verdad? O sea, también eso es algo bien importante. Y bueno, en resumen, la solución de Apricot, como les comentaba, es una plataforma desde lo que podía ser el Virtual Network Expert y el VCS, que es mucho la parte de monitoreo. O sea, para que veamos, un VCS que sería en realidad un ACS, es el que nos permite estar dando de alta los ONTs, administrarlos, realizar actualizaciones, todo eso también lo podemos hacer sin ningún problema. De hecho, muchas veces es la base para empezar que ustedes, si en su caso inclusive no tienen ACS, esta es una excelente oportunidad para que ustedes puedan poner su ACS y realmente puedan estar administrando todos sus equipos con TR-069, TR-369. Toda esta gestión la ofrecemos con el VCS, es una opción excelente, es una plataforma carrier grade, muy, muy robusta, muy sencilla de instalar, que consume pocos recursos, inclusive en cuestión de precio de una solución muy económica, y ya de ahí paulatinamente vayan migrando hacia el Virtual Wireless Expert. O sea, realmente en una solución de Virtual Wireless Expert, ustedes puedan ya tener toda la solución completa de AppleCom para realmente análisis con inteligencia artificial en forma proactiva de cada uno de los suscriptores, ¿sí? Entonces, esta es la parte fundamental también de nuestra solución, pero obviamente la base puede ser el ACS, si no lo tienen, porque definitivamente pues a través de un ACS es como actualizamos el firmware de cada uno de los equipos, ¿va? Entonces es importante tenerlo para cuando, de acuerdo a la marca que tengan de ONT, se pueda actualizar este driver que les menciono y la solución funciona en forma completa, ya con su solución muy robusta de ACS, su Virtual Network Expert, que también nos puede ayudar inclusive a monitorear los OLTs, y finalmente, pues también muchos clientes hoy en día lo están pidiendo, ¿no? En este caso nosotros le llamamos el Snap, que es una solución una aplicación móvil que va en los clientes y que realmente nos puede dar información, les puede dar información, pues, de qué es lo que está pasando en su casa, ¿verdad? O sea, pueden tener información a lo mejor también de bloquear algunas aplicaciones, que no todo esté abierto en la casa. A lo mejor, horarios de uso, en fin, o sea, realmente esta aplicación móvil también es muy interesante porque también le da mucha confianza al cliente de que puede estar monitoreando en forma básica lo que está pasando en su casa, sobre todo los papás que tienen varios hijos de diferentes edades, pues hay que tener un control hoy en día, ¿no? Entonces todo esto hace que la solución sea más robusta y sobre todo, como les mencionaba, el que podamos tener una solución, clientes leales a su solución, o sea que no estén pensando en que más gigas es la diferencia. La diferencia es precisamente que no tengan problemas, que tengan un buen servicio, cuando hay algún detalle en la red rápidamente se resuelva, que en su casa pueden tener una visualización básica de lo que está pasando en su casa precisamente. Entonces todo esto les da mucha confianza y entonces como consecuencia, pues ¿qué tenemos? Nos convertimos en vez de un proveedor de Internet, nos convertimos en un proveedor de experiencia de Internet. Yo creo que estamos en esa etapa en México de poder transicionar de un proveedor de Internet de ancho de banda a un proveedor de experiencia de Internet. Yo creo que esa es la parte fundamental, que estamos en un excelente momento y así Apple lo está viviendo en todo el mundo. O sea, finalmente Apple nació en la India y tiene, como mencioné, más de 6 millones de suscriptores, pero ahorita se está expandiendo hacia Estados Unidos, Brasil, México. El caso de Brasil, por ejemplo, se empezó este año y ya empieza a haber clientes con esta solución. Obviamente también en Estados Unidos y bueno, en México también hay mucho interés de esta solución y pues estamos a sus órdenes para cualquier duda que tengan. Con mucho gusto los podemos atender. Ahorita pongo mi número celular por si me quieren contactar. Y bueno, vamos a pasar ahora a la demostración, ¿verdad? Porque todo esto en Slideware se ve muy bien, pero realmente aquí lo importante es que podamos mostrarles la plataforma, lo más que podamos en el tiempo que nos queda, que son casi 45 minutos, cómo realmente podemos hacer esa diferencia con respecto a nuestra competencia, ¿verdad? Porque aquí es mucho de la competencia, ¿no? Entonces, pues voy a pasar a que nos ayude nuestro Product Manager Arun a dar la demostración. Arun, are you ready to present, to demo our solution, please?
Yes, Kiam, I'm ready to present.
Yes, you can present right now. Yes.
Sure. Let me share my screen. Just give me a
Yes.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes. Yes, we can see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Guillermo, is there a need for translation? Do you want me to pass me at places and do you want to translate in Spanish, or are we okay to
No,
stay in English?
yes, please in English because it will take more time. But at the end, we will have a question and answer in Spanish or in English. And so don't worry about it. Please proceed. the important is that they can see all our details of our solution and how they can improve the service that they have, the experience of the subscribers. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
no problem. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, so I'm going to show you Apricom Virtual Wireless Expert, and just so that you understand how exactly it works, I'm showing you with a real ISP network where we are monitoring more than 1 million CPs in the network and providing information about the quality of experience and enabling the support teams to help their customers better with any problems that they are facing. So this
Okay.
is a real network and live network in India, and this has about 1 million plus CPs. You can see the CP information here. This comma notation is it's an Indian specific notation. So what you're looking at here is 1,139,119 CPs. This is the inventory of this ISP, the number of subscribers that this ISP has in their network. And these CPs are from 35 different manufacturers, and there are more than 100 models in the network. And all these CP models, at least most of them today, have a Apricom Virtual Wireless Expert agent installed in those CPs. And this agent continuously monitors what is happening in the subscriber's Wi-Fi network and beams this data to the application or the server here so that uh, we will gather this data and show it to you with all our intelligence and analytics that is useful to understand the quality of experience metrics for the entire network and also the individual subscribers. So as you can see, there's a lot of information on these dashboards, but I'm going to focus most of my time on QoE, which is the most important thing. QoE stands for quality of experience. So what we do with Apricom Virtual Wireless Expert, VWE, is there's an agent sitting on every Wi-Fi router, and this agent constantly measures the experience of users and quantifies or rates these experiences. So every subscriber's home, we rate the quality of experience from 0 to 100. So if one home or one subscriber or one CPE has a score of 100, it means that there is no problem in their home network and their experience. If the score is less than 100, obviously there is some problem or there is some room for improvement. So I will tell you in a little bit uh, detail how we calculate the QoE. The Apricom Virtual Wireless Expert Agent in the CPE constantly monitors everything that is happening in the Wi-Fi network. We understand whenever some devices get connected to the network and start streaming data. And we understand the kind of applications that are in use by these devices. Say, for example, if you connect to the Wi-Fi network using an iPhone, and if you're streaming YouTube, we have identified your device. We have also identified your application. Further, we are also able to understand how good is the experience of your application. Say, for example, when I say experience of the application, I am able to understand whether your YouTube streaming quality is very good, or if it is buffering, or if it is poor quality streaming, and so on. So, because of network connectivity issues, if there is any performance degradation in the application level, in the user experience, we are able to identify that. So, the application experience is one of the factors that contributes to the QoE score that can vary from 0 to 100. In addition to that, we also look at Wi-Fi network health and the network telemetry information that can be used to understand and check if there is something that affects the Wi-Fi network health. Say, for example, we look at the signal strength or RSSI from each of the devices. We look at any congestion in the Wi-Fi channels or in the Wi-Fi bands. We look at how many devices are getting connected, what is the data demand from these devices, and many other things that determine the Wi-Fi network health. And the health of the Wi-Fi network also contributes to the QoE score. In addition to all these things, we also look at the health of the backhaul network, the fiber network. We look at parameters like round trip latency to internet. We look at packet drops in the backhaul. We look at health of the DNS server, DHCP server, and so on. So in essence, we kind of have a 360-degree perspective to everything that is happening in the network. And we also understand subscribers' application level experience. And based on that, we calculate the QoE score. Now, this histogram is giving you the distribution of QoE score for all the CPs across the network. And you can see that there are about 300,000 CPs that have excellent QoE score. And then on the other side, there are about 1,000 CPs that have poor QoE score. So that's a score that is less than 35 for the score for a total score of 100. So by just looking at this histogram, you are able to understand how many people in the network are having good experience or acceptable experience or moderate or poor experience and so on. So typically, as an ISP who wants to give a good experience, you would be very concerned about this part. The people who have moderate or poor experience want to understand what is causing their experience degradation and potentially proactively solve their issues. So that is where VWE will be of very, very value to the support teams or customer experience teams that want to give a good experience to the customers. So from here, what I can do is I can click on this and look at the entire list of 1,001 CPs that are having poor experience. And then further, I can go into individual CPs, understand what are the problems that are faced by them and remediate them proactively. So if you wish to, you can completely change your support workflow from reactionary to proactive. You don't even need to wait for a customer to call and start complaining. You will already know what is happening in the customer's network. And if you wish to, you can take proactive measures to improve their experience. So one more thing I want to add here is I'm currently showing you data for past 4 hours. I have data for a longer period. In fact, this ISP has chosen to keep data for past 1 week, but by provisioning appropriate amount of memory, it's possible to keep the data for even longer period, say for 2 weeks or 1 month, or even longer if you so wish to. But typically 1 week is good enough because that gives you a complete profile of what is happening in the network, like what is happening on weekends, what is happening on weekdays, mornings, evenings, business hours. All that information is available in a complete week's profile. So it is generally good enough duration for your history in the network. Yeah, so one of the other useful thing about this is that by going into 1 week's data, you will be able to see how many customers are having poor experience for extended periods. And these are probably the most unhappy customers, and you might want to address those customers very, very proactively. So if I say past 1 week, let us see what happens here. Okay, so now I'm showing that this is refreshed now. Now we are seeing data for past 1 week. And you can see that there are 64 people who have been having consistently poor experience for over a week. And you probably want to address these people proactively and very quickly before and prioritize them before looking at anybody else. And we also call this as a churn indicator because you're identifying the most unhappy customers who can potentially, go out of your network and sign up with the competition as well. Let me just go back to past 4 hours data. So now what I will do is I'll just go inside and show you how we present the data at individual subscribers level. So I clicked on subscribers who are having moderate experience. There are about 20,000 plus of them. And I can go into any one of these CPs, and then I'll show you how exactly have we identified the problems that are faced by any one of these subscribers. So let me just go inside one of these and show you how we show you the data for individual subscribers. Okay, so now I'm inside one specific subscribers or CPE's information. So this specific serial number CPE, and I'm looking at data for this. So what is happening here is right on top, you have some basic information about the CPE, like the IP address, MAC address, data usage, WLAN and Wi-Fi information, and also CPE health information and so on. We can probably come back to this later. What I'm going to show you is the key features and the most important metrics that help support teams to quickly assist customers in any problems that they're facing. So if I look at the second graph here, this is the quality of experience score on the time graph. So I'm continuing to look at past 4 hours of data. So you have 4 hours of graph here. And you can see here that the vertical axis is QoE score varying from 0 to 100. And I'm seeing that for the past 4 hours. And this is data that I have refreshed every single minute. And it's almost live information. Currently, the time in India is about 8:58. And I have the data for 8:57 and a half, 8, or so on. And it keeps getting refreshed every minute. So if you look at the quality of experience here on the graph, you can see that it's very wavering. It's not consistent. If you have a good experience, typically you'll see a graph for the entire duration, like what you see here, where it is more or less close to 100%. But you can see that over the past 4 years, there's too much variation in the quality of experience. I think at about 7:45 p.m., the QoE was only 56%. At about 7:15 p.m., the QoE was only 14%, and so on. So you can clearly understand that this subscriber is not having a good experience. And you can establish that immediately by looking at this graph. So the next question that comes into play is that while you know that this subscriber is having poor experience, what exactly are the problems that are faced by this subscriber, and how do we solve those problems? What is causing those problems, and how do we solve those problems? So we have proactively identified all this information here already. And if I come down here, I have a section called wireless experience, where we have actively identified the issues that are faced by this subscriber. And we put them into different baskets for convenience, like connectivity related issues, or application related issues, band steering issues, roaming issues, and CPE stability related issues, and so on. So if I look at connectivity level, then I can see that there is one client was not able to access the internet. This is a user experience. The user was not able to access the internet. And the first column shows you user experience, and the second column shows you the root cause of the problem. Why has this problem happened? We have done automatic troubleshooting, and we have listed out the reason why this user is facing this experience issue. So user is not able to access internet because there's a DHCP failure. So when the client came and connected, that the client did not get an IP address because the DHCP offer was not received. So because the client did not get an IP address, the client was not able to access internet. And this happened to one client in the network. And you can see the details about the client also, which client had this problem. You can see that also. So we have understood the issue, and we have understood the user experience, and we have automatically done the troubleshooting. So all this information is already available. Even before the customer calls, it is available. And when customer calls and complains, the support person, without having to ask too many questions, without trying to understand too much, you're already aware what exactly is the problem that is faced by the user, and what has caused the problem is also available to you. We have done the root cause analysis, and that's also available. And after doing the root cause analysis and troubleshooting, we have also provided exact recommendation that can help solve the problem. So the support team, after they take the calls from the customer, they can just check here, and they can simply follow our recommendation and resolve the issue immediately. So you don't need to spend time trying to analyze a lot of data from your ACS or any other solution that you have. You don't need to ask a lot of questions to the customer who has complained, trying to understand what is the problem, and trying to do your own debugging to find out how to solve the issues. All these things are automatically done by our solution. All that you need to do is follow our recommendations, and you'll be able to resolve the issue. So in another situation, a user was not able to connect, and that happened because the user was trying to connect with a wrong password. So obviously they were not able to connect to the Wi-Fi network. So we automatically detected all these things, and we said the recommendation to solve the problem is to enter the correct password. So this was at connectivity level. Similarly, you see some recommendations at application level that there were, so in this situation, there were some clients that were not able to, they had poor application experience. They were browsing and they had poor application experience for almost 2 hours And this had affected about 4 clients in the network. I can see which are those 4 clients. There's an Apple device and there are a few other devices that were affected because of this issue. So if there is band steering enabled and if there's issue in band steering, you would be able to see that. If it's a mesh network, you'll be able to see roaming related issues and many, many other things. So we look at hundreds of different reasons why customer experience could have degraded. And our solution accurately understands user experience, accurately troubleshoots the problem, and provides actionable, precise recommendations to resolve the issue. So for most of the problems that happen in the network, we will be able to quickly help the support teams to resolve the issues instead of support teams having to debug the issue and trying to understand what is happening when the customer complains. So that is the greatest strength that our solution comes with. Guillermo, do you think we should pause for questions or should I go on and complete before we
Sí.
get any questions?
Yes, thank you, Arun. ¿Alguna pregunta que quieren hacerle a Arun, o en español o en inglés? ¿O vamos todo bien?
Y no tenemos en este momento preguntas, Guillermo. Tal vez valdría la pena si pudieras comentar algo muy rápido así en español, un pequeño resumen de lo que platicó ahorita Aaron, para que
ahí me
quede un
escuchan.
poco más claro.
Parece que hay una pregunta ahí. Ahí,
Sí, no sé si me alcancen a escuchar.
sí, claro.
Muchas
Sí,
gracias.
adelante.
Nada más, gracias, perdón, una pregunta nada más. A nivel de QoE, los parámetros para determinar el QoE son configurables. En este caso, ¿se pueden configurar?
Sí hay forma de hacerlo. Ahorita sí que le preguntamos a Aaron, que es la parte técnica, conoce muy bien esto, pero sí, o sea, pero es muy buena pregunta porque sí en realidad hace el resumen de muchas variables que está viendo para sacar la conclusión
Correcto.
de lo que está pasando. Pero ¿a ti te gustaría modificarlos por alguna razón en especial?
No precisamente, me gustaría ubicar cuáles son los parámetros
Ah,
que
ya.
configuran para poder determinar el índice de QoE.
Ah, exacto, o sea, todas las variables. Sí, ahí tenemos una lámina con todas las variables, pero a ver si Arun se la sabe de memoria o no lo quiere mostrar. Arun, one customer wants to know what are the variables that you use to get the cumulative experience. How many variables, Wi-Fi variables? There are many, as far as I know. I don't know if you can give more detail about it.
Yeah, so I'll give you a concise information about the parameters that we use for calculating a QoE. It's
Yeah.
not an accurate answer because it's a very complex algorithm that we have developed over the year, which also has some machine learning and analytics and all that. So
Yeah.
data apart, the exact analytics is also something that's very important that comes into play. So I'm just loading a set of parameters that you can quickly look at. So what I did
Okay.
was I clicked on in some point in the timeline and you'll see some of the affecting parameters that is used in understanding the QoE. So at any given point in time, I can just understand the network health and parameters that are related to network health. So I clicked on certain point in the timeline and I can see Wi-Fi parameters, backhaul parameters, and applications that are in use and so on. So if I look at Wi-Fi parameters, I'm looking at signal coverage and I've seen that it is bad. And if I click on it, I can get further details about individual clients and signal coverage. And you can also see other information that is like what is the radio they are on and many other things. And you can look at congestion level in the network. And if you click on this again, you'll see more detailed information like the radio information, what is the congestion or what is the channel usage in each of these radios and many other things. Similarly, we are looking at Wi-Fi packet drops. We are looking at data demand from the Wi-Fi network, DHCP, connectivity, roaming. We also look at backhaul related information like data demand on the backhaul side, packet drops, latency. These are only one set of parameters. And if I
Yeah.
come back down here, I see a whole more bunch of parameters. All of them are assimilated together and we do a lot of analysis and bring in machine learning on the top of it to calculate the QoE. So it's very, very extensive.
Yeah. Ok, no sé si quedó clara la
Sí,
respuesta.
muy amable, muchas gracias, muy claro, gracias.
Okay. Okay. Please go on, Arun, please.
Sure. Okay. So this is what I've shown you so far is what we call as a first level support team dashboard. But we have a lot more information that is available in the system. Say, for example, you can see the list of all clients that are connected. And for each individual client, you can see the experience level and certain inference about those clients. And you can also you have a very nifty tool that gives you approximate position or the distance from the router. So you can see the distance graph, and each one of these is client. 0 is where the CPE is located, Wi-Fi router is located. And there's one client that is very far away, almost at 60 feet, and it's not having good experience. So it is marked in red. And we do this color coding for average experience, which is light green, and good experience, which is dark green. And then if there's something that is even more closer and having good experience, it will have blue color. And this is refreshed every minute, and it can also be refreshed every 10 seconds. You will actually see that refreshing after 10 seconds. And this is a nifty tool that is frequently used by our customer support teams. What happens is the support person can see this while they're on the call. And in case the problems faced by the customer, the subscriber, is because of poor signal strength, because the clients are very far away from the router, they can actually on the call ask the subscriber to move closer to the router and see the changes happening since it is getting refreshed every 10 seconds, and check and confirm from the subscriber if it is helping them improve their experience. So you can see real time refreshed, near real time refreshed data about the distance of each of the client devices, which is very, very useful because coverage issues are one of the biggest issues that you often face in Wi-Fi network, especially if your homes are very large. You can see that it got just refreshed at this point, this time. Yeah, so it's a very nifty and useful tool. And then we also have low-level information about all the network telemetry information. I just showed you just now some of the information about Wi-Fi network, backhaul network, and so on. And many of this information is also available on a time scale, so that if there's any anomaly in any of these things, you'll be able to take a look at it. So you look at things like optical power of the optical network, PX and RX powers over the time graph. All this information again is available for past 1 week, although I'm currently showing you past 4 days of data. And you can see number of client connected, you can see data demand, and we also look at every event that is happening in the network, like some clients getting connected, some clients getting disconnected, and any network issues that are faced by any subscriber, anything like there's one more event that I saw, a DHCP renew happened, and many other events that happen in the network. Any Wi-Fi event that happens in the networks is captured by us and provided as an information here intuitively. And you can also click on any of these events and find more information about what is happening in the network at that point in time. So a whole bunch of information is available. Nothing is missed out. This excellent visibility. So we make it very easy to solve customer issues. And if you need more information about network data, that is also available. You don't have to go to any other tools or any other. There's one holistic tool that gives you every information that you ever want to look at. And so far, I've shown you CPE level information. We also have client level information. When customers complain that they have problem with one specific client, let's say, for example, if someone starts complaining saying that I have an Apple device that is having problem, everything else is okay, you can actually go inside and look at this Apple device alone instead of looking at the entire router level information. You can see how long the device is active. You can see the data demand from this particular device. You can also see application or any other experience issues with this specific device. And if there's a mesh network, if there's roaming, then you can see historical data of roaming pattern for this device. You can see the consumption of applications from these devices and other useful information, the events related to this device are all available in this device specific page. So even if you want to look at one specific device related experience information, that's also available here for you to access very easily. And then we also have a lot of reports available, and reports are something that we can customize for you. There are a few sample generic reports, but we have a reporting module that can give you extensive amount of information, because since we have so much of information and since we have a customizable reporting module, it's very easy for us to bring in whatever data that you would like here. So for example, if you are to look at performance reports once it loads, we have a lot of information about what are the major issues that are happening in the network, and which are the devices that are having better quality of experience, and which are the devices, which model of devices having poor quality of experience, and so on. So you can see this is the experience distribution. Uh, you can see which manufacturers, which brands have better QoE, which models have better QoE, and a whole host of information about Wi-Fi devices and CPEs and so on. And as I said just now, all these are customizable depending on your requirement. So you can tell us if you need any more reports, and we'll be able to generate that, because we have pretty much entire network data available, and we will be able to provide any kind of information that you would like using our reporting tools. Okay, I think I have pretty much explained everything about what VWE is and what we can do with VWE. And I think GMO subsequently we can go on to VCS.
Yeah.
And
Yes. Okay. Just one moment, let me ask in Spanish if there is more question. ¿Alguna pregunta más en inglés o en español que tengan duda? En resumen, como vieron, realmente la plataforma puede analizar muchas de las variables de Wi-Fi, que es donde a lo mejor muchos de nosotros somos expertos, pero aquí también está el nivel aplicativo, que es lo interesante, ¿no? O sea, obviamente se pueden seleccionar las aplicaciones, las principales aplicaciones, ¿verdad? No puedo decir que todas las aplicaciones están soportadas, pero sí las más importantes. Entonces, en base a eso, nos puede dar información, por ejemplo, de Zoom, de YouTube, de varias de las aplicaciones más relevantes del mercado. Pero bueno, como les digo, aquí siempre llegamos a la causa raíz, en forma proactiva podamos ver qué es lo que está pasando, y cuando un cliente se está quejando, ya podemos ver lo que finalmente ya tenemos una idea muy clara del problema, o inclusive si es de distancia, como nos comentaba, ustedes vieron cómo pueden estar actualizando cada 10 segundos la cercanía de los clientes al CPE, y ahí es muy claro que como service provider, si pues realmente varios de sus clientes, porque a lo mejor la casa tiene paredes muy gruesas o es grande, lo que sea, pues ahí pueden hacer un upselling de una solución de mesh sin ningún problema, ¿no? Eso también les puede ayudar precisamente en esa parte de upselling de la solución, ¿no? Entonces, no sé si tengan alguna pregunta, si no, vamos a pasar brevemente al ACS, que es también un elemento, pues ya más básico, pero también muy importante para los que no lo tienen, con el cual puedan precisamente estar monitoreando los equipos, hacer actualizaciones de firmware, en fin, lo básico que hace un ACS, aunque obviamente no soy si es Gray, como les comentaba, ¿no? Entonces, no sé si hay alguna pregunta más.
Tengo una pregunta, Guillermo.
Sí,
De manera simultánea, ¿cuántos usuarios o cuántos
eso sí.
servicios podemos monitorear de manera simultánea? Y obviamente todos son los mismos parámetros los que se monitorean, o se puede especificar algunos parámetros para una y hacer diferencias.
Sí, sí que es ahorita le preguntamos a Aaron. Lo que sí te puedo decir es que esta es una arquitectura basada, obviamente esta es una aplicación SaaS que está en la nube, pero como es una de nueva generación, realmente aquí manejamos toda la parte de microservicios, toda la parte de Kubernetes, o sea, realmente es una solución muy escalable, definitivamente. Hay clientes que tienen, no sé, ahorita que nos diga Aaron, pero la última orden que recibimos, bueno, el cliente más grande que tiene diferentes marcas, no sé si tenga más de 3, 4 millones de suscriptores, pero vamos a preguntarle a Aaron a ver si nos dan todavía más información. Aaron, can you tell us more about how many subscribers can we support in the platform, and if there is a way to select some variables for some subscriber, or there is no way to do it, but I don't know. You can give us your comments, please. Aaron?
Sorry, I was speaking on
Yes.
mute. So
Sorry.
is the first question related to scale?
Yes, how can we scale? I explained to Luis that we support microservices, Kubernetes, but obviously, can you give us more details about it? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. As Guillermo said, we are a microservices-based architecture. So we can scale based on the number of CPEs or number of devices that are going to be monitored. So there is no upper limit for scaling as such. We also have a high availability geo-redundant application. And when it comes to scaling, typically you need to add more and more hardware resources like CPUs and memory and storage to support the number of subscribers that are going to be on the network. So if you are scaling from, I was just showing you 1 million subscriber network. If you want to scale to say 2 million, you need to have additional hardware that will help you scale to that number. And our engineering team typically recommends if you are having so many CPEs, say 2 million or 4 million or 5 million, this is the kind of hardware resources that you require to support those many CPEs, and that is how you scale. There is no really tangible upper limit on how far you can go.
Okay, perfect. And the second question is if you have, there is a way to select just some parameters or variables for different subscribers, so there is no way. You always have select all the variables to give a result, and that's it.
I'm not sure if I understood the intent of the question.
Yes,
Is it like
yes.
searching the subscribers?
No, there is to way just to select some parameters for some users, or you always have all there is no way to select some variables or parameters for some kind of users and some kind of parameters for another kind of users. As far as I understand, there are all the variables are always for all the subscribers. There is no way to differentiate it. Yeah.
So is the question towards how
Yes.
QoE is calculated for subscribers?
Yes, but if you can select some variables or parameters for each subscriber, if there is a way to select some of them, or you always use all the parameters for all the subscribers. Yeah.
Yeah, I have all the data for all the subscribers. If you
Yeah.
want to use specific data for specific subscribers, if there's a
Yeah.
use case, you can let me know and we can address that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. ¿No tengas alguna pregunta más, Luis? ¿O seguimos con el ACS o PCS en nuestro caso?
Y no, nada más, bueno, si quieres al final, la otra pregunta era saber si hay alguna maqueta, alguna especie pues sí, de maqueta que se pueda utilizar o que alguien pueda accesar a ella para probar el sistema previo a implementarlo.
Sí. Sí hay algunas, sí hay forma, se puede montar una para que se hacen en forma básica la maqueta, o sea, sí hay forma de hacerlo. Obviamente hay muchos casos que tienen ellos como este de 1 millón de subscribers donde se puede dar una demostración en tiempo real, pero sí, si a alguien le interesa, podemos revisar el caso de tener una maqueta en especial para, para ver todo lo que soporta la plataforma también, ¿no?
Excelente. Muchas
Okay.
gracias.
Okay, Aaron, please. Do you want to continue with the ACS because we have just 8 minutes?
Sure, I will make it quick.
Yeah.
VCS or our ACS is a device management and provisioning solution. Let me just open that. Yeah, here it is. Yeah,
Okay.
so this is our ACS or our provisioning solution and management solution. We use this to get some, we use this solution to manage the devices and configure the devices. And we also use VCS for automatic provisioning or zero-touch provisioning of new devices. And we also use this for firmware upgrade, like bulk firmware upgrade or bulk parameter upgrade and so on. And VCS also has a reporting module similar to our VWE and you can generate and see some business intelligence reports based on the data available through PR69 data models. What I am showing you is ACS based on TR69. And so here is the dashboard that you're looking at. Again, I'll skip through the dashboard and go through the major features. This is a small network which has about 4,000 CPs. Now that you've seen VWE UI, it's very easy for you to understand this also. So I can look at the list of CPs. And so here's a list of CPs. I can filter any of these things based on any of these columns like serial number, MAC address, etc. I also have a larger filtration mechanism available where I can choose a whole list of parameters and get a group of CPs that meet this parameter list. And I can also group CPs. I can just select, or I can select all from a search result and get the list of get a bunch of CPs, and I can create a group from multiple CPs. And these groups can be used for bulk operations like bulk firmware update and so on, which I will demonstrate you as I go forward. So let me just go inside any one of the CPs and show you the management solution. So I can use this screen. Now I'm inside one specific CPE, and I can use this screen to manage the CPE. So I can change any of the parameters here. I can look at the parameters. And let's say, for example, I want to change the Wi-Fi radio configuration. I can just come here and make the changes here. So let's say, for example, I want to disable the radio. I can just disable it and then OK. And I'll be able to push that configuration to the CPE. So, and this runs obviously based on TR69. There are some tabs that are enabled here, but these tabs are enabled based on customers' requirement. So some customers may have some VLAN configuration or something like that. You don't see that here, but depending on ISP's requirements, we enable or disable these tabs. And you also have a complete advanced list of device models where you can directly search if you're an advanced user. I can directly search for some parameters and I can go directly to those parameters and change them as well. So I can just say some parameters. So let's say external IP address, I can edit and change it here. So that kind of usage is also possible. Or alternately, you can use these UIs. And if you say that I have some different kind of UIs, say for example, if you use a or Wi-Fi router with 4G or 5G backhaul, and if you want to set the 5G or 4G related information, we can add those tabs here and so on. So you also have other standard operations that are available in TR69 like reboot and factory reset, ping, trace route, all those information is available. And we display TX and RX power promptly because RX power is one of the parameters that can typically define experience issues or fiber related problems. So in case the RX power crosses the threshold, I think -27 or something like that, we also mark this bold and highlight this in red color so that you immediately know that there could be some issues with the fiber. So this is the device management part. And when it comes to bulk updates, we have a very powerful section called policies, which can help you do bulk firmware updates and any other bulk parameter update activities. So if I say add policies, here what I can do is I can just create a policy name for this can be for firmware update. So I'll call this FWU. I can do this right now, or I can schedule it for a later date. Because firmware update is a disruptive activity, you need to reboot the device. So the users can just get disconnected. So you might not want to do it during the working hours. If you want to schedule it like midnight or something like that, you can do that. And then you can create an action called firmware update. And you can also mention the targets. What are the devices that you want to do the firmware update on. I told you can create groups earlier. And if you have customized groups that you have created, you can do this on a specific group and mention the group details. Or you can also do it for specific OEM models. And you can mention which model do you want to may put the changes for. Say, for example, if you want to do it only for some Huawei models, you can do it here. And then add the action called firmware update. So once you say, OK, and start here. If you are doing it right now, it will get started, or if you schedule it later, when the time occurs, the activity gets started. So it's a pretty powerful tool. You can also add some conditions saying that only if you meet certain conditions, like if some parameters are something, or if some event occurs, only then you initiate the policy. So you can do that also. And you can have multiple conditions, and you can uh, decide to go ahead with the policy only if multiple conditions are met, and so on. So it's a very, very powerful feature. And then in addition to this, you also have reports that are available here as well, that are more based on TR69 standard parameter set, which is very useful for understanding the health of your network. And you can also download some useful raw data from the configuration list. Like if you want to do some analysis later on based on a CSV file by downloading all the data for a specific set of CPs, you'll be able to do that as well. Or you can, yeah, so you can do those things. You can also do it based on time and a bunch of parameters as well. So our ACS is a very simple to use, very easy to use solution that supports all the features that are recommended by TR69 family of protocols. And our virtual wireless expert is a very powerful analytics tool, and both of them can work together and independently as well. So ACS tool for device management, and VWE for analytics and support activities, and together they kind of create an end-to-end holistic subscriber management solution for an ISP network. So that is, in short, everything that I wanted to talk about ACS solution. I think we're also almost done on the time. So Guillermo, I think back to you. If we have any questions, we can take that, or you can say how we can move forward on the discussion.
Yes, thank you, Arun. ¿Alguna pregunta más que tengan respecto al ICS o BCS en este caso? Como se dieron cuenta, algo que es muy importante es que finalmente está basado en TR-069, 369, pero realmente cuando lo integran con el Virtual Wireless Expert, pueden juntar mucha de la información y tener excelentes información o resultados, ¿no? O sea, es la integración, no es necesaria, o sea, realmente este VCS puede trabajar sin el Virtual Wireless Expert, pueden trabajar independiente, pero cuando los juntas todavía tienes más beneficios precisamente para en la parte de analíticos, ¿no? Entonces, no se tengan alguna duda.
Gracias, Guillermo. No, mira, no tenemos comentarios, no tenemos preguntas. Espero que nos dejen aquí sus datos de contacto, sus comentarios, para poderles hacer llegar la presentación. Y lo que les voy a compartir en este momento es la liga que tenemos del canal de YouTube del organismo, donde todos nuestros asistentes van a poder ver los diferentes talleres que se han venido impartiendo a lo largo del tiempo, y ahí van a encontrar el de la sesión anterior de esta plataforma que tuvimos hace algunas semanas, y esta grabación pues la tendrán disponible a finales de la siguiente semana. Aquí nos está compartiendo Miguel Vargas su correo electrónico. Muchas gracias. Ahí haremos llegar la presentación, y estos datos los compartimos directamente con Guillermo para que los puedan contactar de manera directa. Ya está la liga. Ahí van a encontrar alrededor de 150 talleres que se han impartido, de diferentes temas, de diferentes temáticas, y que bueno, los invitamos a verlos. Agradecerte, Guillermo, por esta nueva aportación y complemento de la reunión. Seguramente una vez que nuestros asistentes vean la información, pues generará por ahí algún requerimiento de información que inmediatamente canalizaremos.
Claro.
Aaron, thank you very much for your explanation about this tool, about this application. Thank you very much. It was very complete information. Thank you for sharing your experience and your knowledge about this.
Thank you, Louis. It was good to have you all, and thank you for your presence here and being here to understand our products.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Gracias, Guillermo.
No, a
Y
ti,
bueno,
a ti,
pues,
Luis.
a nuestros asistentes, muchas gracias por este tiempo que nos han compartido.